we have the one and only Redfoo.
Yeah. What's up, baby? What up? Welcome.
Hey. Thank you.
Man, hey. No, I don't think you realize what you were doing to middle schoolers across the country when I had us over here drunk on Sprite. Had us over here
shuffling in the school, in the class.
Yeah, 100%. I'm putting my drink down, get back on the dance floor over here.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, this is a blessing.
My pleasure, man.
Absolutely.
100%.
I follow both of you guys.
That's lovely, bro.
And,
Thank you.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
it's so fun. You guys are so fun. So.
Thank you, bro.
And the coolest thing is we're all connected through tennis now, which is special. And so, thanks for being here. This is just a blessing getting to talk to some of our idols about tennis, life, everything in between, which is great. But I think first question is, man, how are you doing? How's life treating you?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. Doing great. Thriving. Just living my best life. I'm a father now.
Congrats.
19-year-old.
19-year-old?
19-month-old. You know how many times I've said that?
Like, you didn't realize you was a father?
She's growing fast.
I was like, wait, you just found out?
Yeah, I just found out. 19-year-old.
She's growing fast, bro.
I've said that like
How was college? How was
times.
graduation?
Just got out of college.
That's awesome. But yeah, so 19-month-old, how's that been? How's that been?
It's been great. She's almost saying full sentences.
Cool.
She's, I'm singing do re mi to her, and she can understand it. She can understand the alphabet because I can say like A, B, and stop, and she'll be like C.
Oh, damn.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and then she'll be like K, but she won't say the whole thing yet.
Yeah. Can she say elemental P? Is that too hard for her yet?
You know what?
That stumbles kids.
There's a thing about elemental P.
Yeah, for sure.
Where they don't want to, they're changing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and they say something else. They don't go elemental P.
Yeah.
But we still do the old school elemental.
Yeah.
They try to say LMNOPON or something weird.
Yeah.
So we're keeping some things old school.
And
sure.
changing. Some things have evolved.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're on this beautiful court in Calabasas. Thanks for welcoming us here. Seriously. It's a great spot.
Thanks for coming.
Really cool spot.
What
you got for him?
How long have you loved this sport called tennis?
Yeah. Oh, the flies are getting you, huh?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is, you played, right? Like you played growing up.
Yeah. Well, I played. The first picture of me on a tennis court was, I think, was a picture of my mom, and she was pregnant.
Okay.
And she was playing, and then the next picture was me. Is those big ball hoppers where you have the balls, and there's a picture of me. Just, I don't know, it's like 1 year old, and I'm just in the ball hopper, and they're picking up. And so my dad played.
Okay.
And he had a court at his house. But so for the first 2 years of my life, I was with my dad, but then my mom and dad separated. And so I would go visit, and he was a tennis fanatic.
Yeah.
And I would go there, and so I would, hit a little bit. But I was more basketball, soccer, baseball growing up. And, but I had good, ping pong. I'd play,
good hand-eye.
Hand-eye. And then at like 10 years old, I could hit around, didn't know probably really top spin or something like that. And then at 10, I started playing against my dad. And I couldn't beat him. So then now I want to beat him.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching tennis, and I'm getting into the top spin, Sampras, Agassi.
Yeah.
That, Michael Chang. That's kind of, Stefan Edberg. Now, my government name, my birth name is Stefan.
Oh, Stefan.
Stefan.
Yeah, okay.
Some people say Stefan.
Yeah.
But
you know what I'm saying? You gotta
never
give me a
know.
little flamboy. Stefan.
It's the French.
Yeah.
Stefan.
That was Steve Urkel's alter ego, Stefan. And,
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
So like serving volleyers, because Stefan Edberg was a serving volleyer, Pete Sampras. So I got in there, And, you know, my number one dream was to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
Because I was cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
You're about 6, you're 6'2"?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
Okay.
But I grew late. So I didn't make the varsity team in my little school. I had a little school that was for kids that were, you know,
MJ didn't either.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't make, right?
But yeah.
No.
But MJ became a Hall of Fame basketball player though.
But look, though.
But I get the comparison though.
But look, hey, at that age,
you need to hear that. You need to hear that. Yeah.
Because we both got cut,
Yeah.
right? But he did something different.
Yeah.
He said to himself, you know, I don't care what they say. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna this, that.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
But then, and I love my mom. No thing, my mom. But my mom said, she goes, well, and I think she was trying to make me feel better. She's like, I don't think basketball's your thing because you're too short. You're too short to play basketball.
Man.
That went in.
For sure.
And I tried to get it out, but then the dude that they picked for point guard over me was younger and he was taller. So I was like, well,
maybe there's some truth
he's
to that.
always gonna be younger than me and he's taller already.
Yeah.
And so, but I didn't hit my growth spurt. I wish someone said, but you haven't hit your growth spurt. I wish the Lord would have said.
Or Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan, you know, but you didn't hit your growth spurt yet, son, you know. And so I believed her. And everything I saw was, I was small. So then I was like, well, okay, if I can't play basketball, what can I play? Because my whole thing was, I'm going to do something in entertainment. I'm going to play sport. It was sports. I didn't even think music at that time.
Yeah.
I was like,
Be in front of people, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to play. I just want to, because that my whole life, I mean, you sit there and learn how to dribble around a neighborhood the whole time, you know, you're going to play, you know, never wanted to work a 9 to 5. That was my whole thing. Like, I'm going to be playing some sports. And so then I picked tennis because I was like, well, Michael Chang is 5'5", you know, he's 5'7" or something.
Short.
You know, he's short, you know.
Yeah.
And Agassi wasn't,
Legacy short too. He's like 5'9", 5'8", 5'8", 5'9". Yeah.
You know, and he was like probably number 1 in the world at the time.
Yeah, he's like 5'9".
And I was like, yeah. So I kind of switched over mentally, and that's when I really got into tennis.
That's awesome.
But I was late though.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, you're late. The kids, they were very competitive. You know, yeah, you sure? I was in the clinic, so I went to school from 8, got out at like 12. Then I played before at my dad's house. I was living at my dad, you know, so this is now I'm moving into like 13, 14.
Okay.
Now I'm staying with my dad. And he's got a coach coming out in the morning. And then I'm going to school, and then I'm going to this academy, the ADR Academy, some, you know, and it had some local kids. So I'm playing at the time, just to paint a picture, the Bryan brothers. They're in the 12s. I'm in the 16s.
Okay.
They're number 1 in the 16s.
Yeah.
And they're playing the 18s national tournaments at 12.
Yeah.
It's different.
And they were the best. They were 1 and 2. We didn't even think of them as doubles specialists.
Yeah,
they were just the best
good
at hitting the
tennis.
ball.
at 12. They were number 1 in the 16s.
Yeah.
So, and I grew up with, there's a Lester Cook, you may know, Jason Cook. And I was about like 30 in California. You know, it wasn't bad.
That's good.
I was getting there. I was playing tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Never did Kalamazoo. Never got, you know. And I just don't think that, I don't know. I just don't think I had the right people around me, you know, because like Jason's coach, he had like a coach, you know. I had academy.
Yeah.
And then my dad was my manager, but then me and him got into a thing. He wanted me to, I was playing Jason Cook. I had never beat him. You know, one of those friends that you just never beat. They beat you, you know. Usually I'm
those friends that you just never beat, right?
but y'all.
You've been playing, Hey, give me 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
No, but it was like that, right?
No, for sure.
And you think every time you step up, step on the court, this could be the day. This could be the day. And you get close. And then
you get excited.
You get excited. Yeah. And so that's what that was happening with me and Jason. I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive kid, you know, with comedy.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got kids talking about your mom and all that stuff. So, like, you know, back in the day, you know, I mean, so you got to be, you know, I was never a scholar. Let's put it this way. I wasn't a scholar.
Yeah.
So I was the class clown. I was the first to just be saying jokes. You know, I'm not gonna you ain't gonna talk about my mama like
For
that.
sure.
You know.
Can't.
And then, so on the court, my dad was telling me, he was like, I want you to stay back. And I was like, yeah, but Stephen Ember, he's serving volley. And Pete Sampras, I'm serving him volley. He said, no, don't do it. And he has some friends around. So you know how your dad had your friend, watch this. I'm gonna tell my son, you know, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm his manager, and he gonna listen to me, right? But I could beat him now. So I had that moment where I beat my dad.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
so I'm beating my dad.
How did that feel?
It was amazing.
Good.
Best moment of my life. Came back from 5-0
Dang.
in the first set, and then won that set, and then won the next one, and it was just a moment because I knew that he never, let me beat him.
Yeah.
Because he was competitive.
And so you say your dad, you're speaking about his dad over and over.
Who is this dad?
Who is this? Who's
Yeah.
you? Who's you?
Okay, so the people don't know.
Who's your pops?
Some people know. So my dad is the founder of Motown.
Oh, Motown.
Motown Records.
Motown's record.
Yeah, Barry Gordy.
I think I heard the name.
And if you haven't heard of that, you could just Google right now. All of us-
Temptations.
The Jackson 5.
Jackson 5.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Gladys Knight and the Pips. Thought it was the Pimps, but it was the Pips the whole time.
Okay, so we got the context. All right, back to
Okay, so he's
serving
competitive.
volley.
And it's funny is that my mom got me into tennis, and then my dad did something which I'm gonna say later about got me into music.
Yeah.
Right. But he didn't want me to be into music.
Yeah.
He loved that I was into tennis.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He didn't really want me to be in the music business.
Yeah.
And now I probably don't want my daughter to be in the business
sure.
after
Yeah.
the
Once you know,
business
for
is
sure.
crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it crazy?
Wait, so what happened with
Okay.
the serve and volley?
So the serve and volley. So I said, no, I'm gonna keep serving volley because I know he said stay back. You got a better chance. And I said, okay. But I didn't listen.
Yeah.
And I went and served and volleyed. And I think it was like 4-all. And I ended up losing my serve.
Yeah.
And then I lose 4-6. And I'm disappointed. And then he's even more disappointed.
Yeah.
And he goes, see, I told you should have stayed back. And I said, yeah, but he said, you didn't listen to me. And I said, yeah, because you're not always right. And he's, I'm not always right. Well, then I'm not going to be your manager no more.
Dang.
And when he said that to me, that was like our biggest relationship thing because I didn't really grow up with him.
For sure.
So him saying, I'm not gonna be your manager was like saying, I'm not gonna be your father no more. Like that's how it hit me.
Yeah.
It hit me so hard, man. I think I started crying, but trying to hold it back, and he was there and I said, and then, so I kind of, my whole tennis thing, and then I had a friend from Sweden that was there for the summertime, and he was playing tennis, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to Sweden with my friend Bjorn.
Yeah.
Celine.
Bjorn.
And he was another friend that I couldn't beat in just in everything.
You still keep in touch with Bjorn?
Yes.
That's
and
so
I
cool.
played him. He came out. 20 years later,
Damn.
I seen him, and this was like about 40, this is about 30 years ago. So then I didn't see him for 20 years. We played and he beat me. This is like 10 years ago. I had a birthday party in Mexico. He came out, flew him out, and I was like playing, and I'm like, I know I could beat him now. He still beat me.
Yeah.
I choked up.
Yeah, yeah.
So he came out here.
Let's fix your mic.
Oh,
real quick.
fix the mic. So he came out here, and anyways, I beat him. But it was one of those friends, so you could do it.
I know.
It's possible.
I know.
And maybe before 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Let me, bam. I got it.
Heck no, bro.
Maybe, no, I could.
My middle name is David.
Let me get it on the outside. Yeah. So no, it's all about.
Yeah, I can be. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you just got to exploit his
No,
weakness.
yeah, my middle name is David.
Yeah,
Goliath, you feel me?
that's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
I'm solid.
So-
hey, this ain't that battle. This ain't that battle.
Yeah. So then I left to Sweden in the 11th. Now I'm in 11th grade. I left to Sweden, and I went over to Sweden to get into tennis. I was snowboarding, broke my wrist. Because Sweden don't have it like America. They don't care as much. American parents are like, you're gonna be a star, an athlete, and in Sweden they're laid back.
Yeah.
And if they're just talented.
Yeah.
So all these, I don't think they don't have all the programs and the stuff. And so I came out there, and then I got into music because I broke my wrist. I was like, I'm not gonna have no downtime, so I got a sampler, and I learned how to produce and make hip hop stuff.
And that's where you started your first. So what'd you start on? Ableton, Logic?
No. This is before, man. They
Oh,
didn't even have. Okay, there was no DAWs. There was no audio workstation.
They had the bongos.
They had the bongos, bro, with the pizzos that you hit, and it triggers an analog tape. No. They had at this time they had Cubase on the Atari, and it was all MIDI, but I didn't even use that. I used the ASR 10.
Yeah.
You know how Kanye be talking about ASR 10?
Timbo used ASR.
Yeah. Okay.
Jay Dilla.
But even before the ASR 10, the ASR 16 plus floppy drives.
iPhone 16.
No, it was the ASR 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how was that? What was that process like? Like
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Because well, I used to dream about music so much, and I used to love hip hop, and I was listening to NWA and listening to. Now, one thing, when you're in LA, you got this West Coast, East Coast thing. So you're listening to West Coast artists here, a couple East Coast. I loved, when I got back from Sweden, I was all in a Tribe Called Quest and all into native tongue.
For sure.
Right?
When I kick it.
When I kick it, yes, you can.
When I kick it.
Yeah. But in Sweden, when you live in Europe, you see the whole world, because you got stuff like Crisscross had came out,
Man.
and maybe in LA, or maybe they were like, oh, that's like commercial.
Was Crisscross East Coast or West Coast?
I think it was East Coast, because Tretch was writing stuff for them. And I used to, so you follow everything. Das Effects.
I think Crisscross is Atlanta, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Atlanta. I think you're right. Jermaine Dupri.
Yes.
I think in LA, anything outside of LA is East Coast. I mean, it's,
Wyoming, East Coast.
East Coast. Florida, but just, and so I kind of appreciated everything.
Yeah.
I remember Will Smith dropped an album, like his solo album, I think, or something like that. I was a big Will Smith fan too. Like the first albums, and Run DMC. That's how I got into music.
Yeah.
My sister, Rhonda Ross, Diana Ross's, I think, oldest, maybe not oldest. There's Tracy.
Okay, Tracy Ellis Ross.
I don't know if she might be the oldest.
Okay.
But Rhonda. So we were
super tight.
half brother and sister.
Yeah,
I mean, from the same father.
Yeah, there you go.
But that was, we didn't know that growing up, and that was news to us. At some point, it was like,
Wow.
But so she played me Run DMC for the first time. So that's how the music thing started.
Got it.
At like 10 years old.
But now
it wasn't even from your dad.
It wasn't from your dad.
Well, my mother, Nancy, was she started the film department at Motown. And this is when MTV had just started coming out.
Yeah.
Right? And music videos were a thing. So she did the Rick James, she did Bustin' Out. She did Super Freak.
Yeah.
She directed these videos.
No way.
So sick.
She did Somebody's Watching Me.
Oh, damn.
Directed it. Even funded the video.
Wow.
And that was my brother, Rockwell. Somebody's watching me. And that's Michael on the hook.
Oh, damn.
That's Michael on the hook.
Yeah.
That's Mike J on the hook. So, and my brother Kerry, I think, co-wrote the song, So I was exposed to that growing up, but never thought about doing music until I think it's like when, that Run DMC, I memorized all the lyrics to that, and that was when I fell in love with like rap, like hip hop, rap, Run DMC, LL Cool J,
For sure.
those first albums, Will Smith, because he had the funny rap, like hilarious.
Yeah.
And
Totally
that whole
Tyler.
personality thing.
Yeah.
And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's about Benny Medina, the manager. It's the story of Benny Medina going to my dad's house. So Dr. Phil or
damn.
Phil,
Phil.
was his
Uncle Phil,
Uncle
yeah,
Phil,
Uncle Phil.
is supposed to be my dad.
That's crazy.
Right? And we didn't even know that. I was watching the show. I was like, I like the show.
This looks familiar.
It kind of feels familiar. But so it was like Benny. I mean, that's the story that I've been
Okay.
told through my brothers. Like Benny sold that show, and I think that he was Will's manager at the time, or became his something like that. But so it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, so breaking the wrist got me out of tennis.
And went to
got me
Sweden.
into music.
Yeah.
and then I came back.
Did the passion for, was the passion for tennis still there, like hidden, as you kind of made that pivot to music?
Not at first.
Okay.
I dropped it.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, damn.
Didn't even know. There's a gap of like 10 years where I don't even know those players, because once I got into the music, I was 100%.
Yeah.
And me growing up mixed, I've always had like an identity crisis. Until I found found Redfoo.
Damn.
Because I, black dad, white mom, grew up with my mom in the Palisades, white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking me, what are you?
Damn.
On both sides. And I always had to try to figure this thing out, kind of like how Tiger Woods did in the beginning of his, like, what are you? And his mom and this, that, and I could relate to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then one day he just said, well, my mom is, I don't think, Thailand, I don't know. And he was just like, whatever she is, I'm a mix, but I was tired of all that stuff. So one day I was done. I was like, I'm Red. This is what I am. I don't know what you call it. And I named myself, for my rap name, Redfoo, because I closed my eyes. I was like, what are you? I needed a name. Because it was still Kendall. My middle name's Kendall. It was still a little soft to me. It was cool, but it was Kendall.
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 Kendall coming.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody running Kendall coming.
Yeah.
Kendall.
A lot of people were like, oh, I have, my sister's name is Kendall. It's like a girl's name. I think Kendall Jenner.
Yeah,
and once I started hearing a girl's name, I said, that takes me out of the hip hop thing.
That puts you in some Vanessa Carlton. That puts you in some.
So so you were saying you were laying back, you close your eyes.
Yeah.
And the red was like.
The red was like
mixed.
the energy. I saw red like a passion, and I was like, ooh, passionate. And then I was like, what do people, consider me as? They always call me a fool. Like, oh man, you's a fool. And so I was like Redfoo, right?
Redfoo.
But that sounded kind of strange to me. Like the L on fool bothered me.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I tried to switch it. I was like, MC Fool, that's red.
Yo,
Tried to be all poetic with it, with a little small haiku, MC, and then that was like too long of a whole name. MC Fool, that's red. De La Soul had something, but that was too hip, that's too much. So then I was like, what about Redfoo? And then when I said it, it was like
Kung Fu.
It hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's FOO, but it was that foo.
Yeah.
The and the L, and then I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
So then literally I was 0 years old. I had changed my name and my identity. This was like 19, and I've been doing like a lot of underground hip hop, sampling, all sample stuff. I was in a group called Redfoo and Dre Croon, and he was a singer and I was a rapper.
And Eminem opened up for y'all.
Yeah.
There, right?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, at the Hollywood Athletic Club.
That's sick.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But even and this is what's so crazy about creativity and things like that. It's like, this was a name that you came up with in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's an iconic name. It's a household name.
That's
like,
amazing.
Does that, like, do you think
incredible.
Like this is a Redfoo, this, but now it's like we only know you as that, and it's like the fact that was just there was a wrestle in your head.
He followed intuition.
Intuition, which is
just a beautiful thing.
All intuition. My raps back then were like, develop your auric sight, unite whenever you like to write, tap into the universe and resonate. Let it flow, don't hesitate. We're miracles, cast iron spirituals, art, body, rock, and fly lyricals, expressing the mood in the moment. And what's the date today?
Today is the 9th.
How did you get from that to party rocking in a house tonight?
Hey,
everybody just have a good time.
This man said,
because you
I'm
gotta-
running through these hoes like I'm straight up.
I'm sexy and I know it.
yeah. Back when I created Redfoo, I would never probably have sung a lyric called "I'm Sexy and I Know It." That would have been too.
That's iconic, though.
Yeah, no. So
hey,
It's
girl,
an
look at my
obvious
body.
one.
Hey, yeah, girl, look at that body. Go work out.
I work out, and yeah. So I was underground hip hop. I was into you know, spirituality, like auras and like astral
universal,
projection.
yeah.
I was meditating
100% for sure.
I wasn't even sleeping.
Yeah.
No, I was meditating.
Yeah, for sure.
And this was around 22. And I was walking barefoot,
Grounding.
to Venice from that's like 4 or 5 miles from the Palisades to Venice.
Dang.
Dang. Just walking, just trying to I was sun gazing.
Yeah.
Looking into the sun, The earth wasn't flat, but I was, I was right there. I could have been convinced.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I got a little bit out of that stuff because I was reading too many books. And some of these like numerology books or some of the aura books, I realized a lot of them are opinions. They're not facts. It's just like, the aura, the chakra is purple, and then I read another book, it said it was pink. And then the other book said it was aqua. And I said, well, damn, this, a lot of, and then,
He
and
say, she say.
Is he say, she say.
For
so
sure.
I had to drop, I was like, I don't want to be led down
Yeah,
weird.
because it can get dark.
It can get dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, spirits coming in,
It
you
can
got-
get dark.
yeah.
If you open up that gate,
Yeah.
you'll allow good and bad spirits to come through.
Yeah.
Did you grow up religious at all? Did you ever go to church and stuff
I
like that?
did. I grew up basically Christian. I think there was a Catholic church that we would go to, but basically my mom would read me, and a lot of the stories was just the standard Christian.
Sure.
Adam and Eve,
Yeah, Mary,
Hercules,
Joseph.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark,
Noah's Ark,
Samson
Moses.
with the hair.
Yeah, with the hair.
Yeah, Cain and Abel.
Delilah.
The hair, Samson, and then they cut his
yeah,
hair and he lost all his power.
Yeah.
So this is half the reason why I haven't cut my hair since 1994-ish.
Okay.
1994-ish.
I wasn't born.
That's what I'm saying. I have not cut my hair.
Yeah.
My hair is older than you. My hair.
You were 93?
My hair is older than you.
I hate that.
Hey, you got some wisdom up there.
Yeah.
Hair gonna teach me some lessons.
Yeah, and then a rapper, that's how incredible, music is, but even hip hop is like Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Mr. Bobalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina. I don't know if you heard that song. He from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
E40
E40
is influenced by him.
Yeah. And then I think apparently he was Ice Cube's cousin, but I don't know if that ever, but that's what that could have been marketing, but he was amazing. And he goes in a verse, he said something like, some dance, I let my hair grow like a plant. And I was like, he's like, I don't cut it because plants don't cut their, he said something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, plants don't cut their hair.
You don't see, trees don't cut their
They don't
their
cut.
leaves.
And I said, why are we going around? And I had bad experiences with these barbers, and I know everybody has.
Yeah.
You tell them to take off an inch, they give you a buzz
Push
cut.
that hairline back.
And then they started, it was weird. Some of the barbers, they started standing, some of their junk was on my arm sometimes. It'd be like, and they'd be cutting my hair. It'd be junk. It'd be right there. And I'd be like, yo. I'd be like, hey, yo. And it'd be like leaning on my arm, the junk. And he'd be like cutting. And I say, hey, all right. Oh yeah, we gotta. And then I was like, and then I heard the lyric, and I was like,
Everything had an epiphany.
I ain't never going back to the barbershop.
No more junk on my shoulder.
No more junk on my shoulder. That was
that's a track.
That's a bar.
That's a track.
You know what I'm
gotta-
saying? As I get older, ain't no more junk on my shoulder.
Oh,
You know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
getting real colder.
I'm feeling bolder.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about the bolder
No,
one.
Boulder fire. Don't worry. Boulder was fire. Boulder was fire. Man, okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
because we
Okay,
man, there,
yeah.
no, there's a
we got a
your
lot of
mind is a wealth of knowledge, comedy, but just overall just good vibes. I love this. This is great.
Do you say comedy?
Comedy, yeah.
See, now that's what changed me though. To get to the section I know
Yes.
it, I did stand-up comedy.
Damn.
In Hollywood.
In between, if you doing underground rapping.
Yes, I quit.
You quit rapping.
Did comedy.
That's
because
insane,
I always thought that
transitioning.
comic. I was always one of those dudes that made their friends laugh. I mean, like my friends, I always felt like my job was to make them laugh.
Yeah,
like that was our thing.
And your
That's
friends
so
definitely
fire.
appreciate
and they
you for that.
appreciate,
Yes.
and
Because that'll keep people around you for a long time.
yeah, the comedy, you know.
it's a lot.
And there's something about truth. You know, I had some hard growing up with my stepfather.
Yeah.
You know, had the violence and the whole thing. And so I remember I used to,
outlet.
and I used to just be real, like just talk about that. And then class clown, I didn't care. I just said I don't want to be here. You know, I remember the teacher one time said, "We're gonna read out the report cards in the school.
Dang.
Out loud. We're just gonna read them out loud." I said, "Well, why do that?
Like
Well,
say your name and then
and then say the name and the grades." So they said one person first, and they said, you know, C, D, English, this, that, and they said, okay, next, Stefan. You know, we're gonna read that, and I said, don't do that, you know, and then she read it, and she goes, math, F,
Dang.
history, F,
Dang.
English, F, what else is there?
Science.
Science, F.
That's why you were getting all the F's.
Science.
Hey, no.
You didn't even know what class
No,
it was.
watch this.
PE.
PE. D. D.
How do you get a D and B?
But it was better because that's all I did was I was good at PE, but still got a D. Still got a D though, because she was making a joke. She was saying D. So I stood up and I said, "Fuck you!" Right? Third grade. Now the teacher. Now we must have had a liberal administration. Because the teacher was a witch.
Yeah.
No, she had white hair. She was a legit. You ever go in like a Trader Joe's and you see like a witch, like, but a real one. It's not Halloween. It's not Halloween. And you see with the. Oh no!
No, you know the ones in Trader Joe's, bro.
No, with the cat. They're wearing cat ears, and it's a real all black, and it's a real witch.
Yeah.
They had a teacher like that.
Yeah.
But a witch used to bring a little a dog that looked like a cat with no hair.
Man.
Just a skinned dog.
I blacked out. My bad. I blacked out just now. That was the funniest thing I ever heard about. So the teacher was a witch?
The teacher was a witch, so I said, "Fuck you." And she goes, "Oh, how dare!" She, how dare you? She did something. She dipped in. She said, sprinkled some stuff on me. She said, "How dare you?" And I said, and she goes, "Go to the principal's office." And I said, "For what?" She goes, "You can't say that type of language." And I said, "Man, I'll go." Right? And this is crazy when you have a stepfather, because I went to the principal's office and I was walking tough. I was like,
For sure.
She was wrong. I don't care. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to curse, but at that point,
Yeah.
you gonna read the grades.
Yeah.
So I'm walking.
That is
and
ruthless.
It is ruthless. And the principal goes, so do you know why they called you? I said, yeah. He goes, now do you tell me, what did you say in that classroom? And I said, fuck you. And he goes, oh, okay. And he walked over to he had a case, like a glass case. He opened the glass case and it had 2 ping pong paddles. And he brought out the paddle and he goes, "You know what we do to boys that are that." I said, and then now I got a stepfather. He's beating everybody's asses, anyways, at home.
Yeah.
And doing the weird throwing dishes. I mean, I had that with my stepfather.
For sure.
So he brought the ping pong paddle. He'd been beating me with belts. The ping pong paddle's not a belt's worse than that.
Belts suck.
It's as long, it's whippy.
Yeah.
And it's
It bites.
So he goes, so how do you feel about that? And I said, you're gonna spank me with that? I said, oh, my stepfather's not gonna like that.
Yeah.
I said, because so you're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna tell him, he already hits me with the belt. I told him I said, he beats everybody up. So then I have to tell him, he's not gonna like that. He's gonna have to come
To the school.
Man, that fool, by the time I was done, he had put the ping pong thing back.
Yeah, might as well play at that
Sat
point.
down, gave me a little yellow piece of paper and just said, go home.
might as well, for sure.
Because you can't mess with the stepdad.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I got out of that, but But they did try to expel me for a couple days.
sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
That was you, the
but that
comedy bit,
moment,
yeah.
I brag about that moment. Even to that, I told all my this is what I said.
Yeah.
And I still don't think I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because someone got to speak up to the authority that, the witch, that this, that. And now in the schools, it's even worse than that from what I understand. That's why we're homeschooling.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm home. I'm the teacher.
I might as well.
Yeah.
No, you got to homeschool.
Yeah, I might.
Because weird stuff happens
I've
to
been
you in
thinking about it.
school.
For sure.
All the weird stuff.
Yeah.
My parents had me in Christian school. I did public school for a bit, then just Catholic high school. They was like, we need structure.
Yeah. And how was that?
It was good. It was
Any weird stuff?
honestly, if I'm being very, very honest, nah.
Okay,
Like my
okay.
school, my high school. I mean, the weirdest thing is you're just around dudes all day. So that was all
So
boys
you was
school,
at an
so-
all-guys school?
all boys school.
Yeah.
Dang.
So let's say a teacher was like a 3.
Yeah.
Because we had maybe 2 lady teachers. Like if she was like a 3, she's a 10.
She's a 10.
She's a 15.
She's the
Because we're not
hottest.
seeing
Anything.
girls like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it was cool. It was
Yeah.
all boys school. There was just no drama because you don't realize when you go to co-ed school, like
A lot of drama.
dudes act up to impress the girls.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you go to boys school. It's like you ain't trying to
Or
impress.
you getting into fights. It's like, oh, why you talking to my girl?
Exactly.
That's right.
Why
That's
you
right.
why you texting
But
buddy?
but all
So
boys
that's an
school,
animosity.
there's no ego. Everyone's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
homies. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
all boys school was fire. It was a lot of fun.
That's
so
cool.
so you went from the underground rap. So we're doing.
Yeah.
So we'll start.
Dilated peoples.
So we went from tennis, junior growing up. tennis,
Yeah.
Sweden snowboarding,
Yeah.
broke the wrist,
Yeah.
and then underground. That's when you found music.
And no one in underground hip hop plays tennis.
Yeah.
So you kind of forget that. I still play basketball.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, hip hop
Yeah,
basketball.
But I told Will I am. I tell Will I am because I got into golf too.
Yeah,
Okay.
golf is nice,
while
yeah.
I was playing tennis.
Yeah.
You might as well get into golf. You might as well get into all.
Might as well, yeah.
I told you.
Ping pong, golf,
Yeah.
croquet.
Yeah.
You know,
Squash, all that. Yeah.
Right?
Wait, what's
I don't know what the
Croquet.
ball in the grass
oh,
and the
yeah.
hammer.
Okay, got
and
it.
You
Yeah,
know
the
what I
pop.
mean?
Okay,
you
cool.
might play that at
Got it.
Easter or
And then you went to comedy after that.
Yeah.
And then sexy. So then after comedy, when did the transition from comedy
Yeah.
to sexy and I know it?
Yeah. So I go to do stand-up comedy about 2 years. That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough, but I was good.
Yeah.
But it was just different people
They say
over
it's
here.
cutthroat. Yeah.
It's
They say
cutthroat.
it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat. I did a joke. I don't even want to get. It's cutthroat.
Yeah,
but I
tell
got
us.
clowned.
Yeah, for
I got
sure.
clowned
Yeah.
by the host
Yeah.
so bad that I almost started crying
Dang.
because I was like just doing, and they were like, he gave you. You guys spent $5 to get in, so you bought $5 comedy. But he gave you about $1.25
Dang.
of comedy.
That's same.
And I was looking through the thing because I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, he was hot.
Yeah.
And I said, oh no.
That's the same energy as the teacher.
Yeah.
That's dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that one hurt me, man. And comedy's all by yourself. There's no family in the seats. So, anyways, I'm doing stand-up. I go to improv. Now, stand-up comedy is you and a crowd of people.
And you already have your jokes written.
And you have your jokes written, and you're very competitive. So a heckler comes out, boom, you're on his ass. I mean, you just like, man, you ain't part of this duo, bam, this ain't a duo. You have pre-things sometimes for hecklers, go off the top, but you're making fun of the person in the, you're doing that stuff. It's really cutthroat. Improv comedy, where you're with like 5 people, it's much more structure, and it's all about saying the truth. But if someone says something, your job is to make them look funny. So you're helping people.
Got it.
And that changed my life. Improv comedy, saying yes to things.
Yeah.
If someone walks in and goes, hi, I'm a dragon, and I'm gonna get you, and you go, you're not a dragon. Come on, man. Come on, Bill. You're not a dragon. Now, that could be a funny moment because he goes, okay, I know, Halloween's over. And he can go with it, but you don't really want to deny, because if he says he's a dragon, then he could be a delusional person and he could be on, but you don't want to say no. And I was used to being like, no, you're not. Blah, blah, blah. It's just so technical and so anti.
Yeah.
And it opened me up. And then I used to talk shit about people a little bit, And I remember, but in the improv, everybody knows everybody. So I'd be like, hey, look at this dude over here, he tripping. But that'd be like, they'd be best friends, but you don't know that because they're all, you know. So I guess it was just like a social thing that I learned. And I was like, you can't be doing that. And I was like, why do I?
So was that that helped you kind of exit into, when did you?
Yeah, I guess the question.
When did Sexy and I Know It become?
What was the
Hollywood.
The first song though was, the biggest one was
that
Party
was the
Rock.
second album.
Yeah, for sure.
The first one was Party Rock Anthem, right? That was
No, the first album is Party Rock.
Yes.
Got it.
And Party Rock Anthem was on the second album.
Okay.
Got it.
And then the first songs, the first song was I'm in Miami, bitch. I'm in Miami, bitch.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
I had no idea.
Yeah. And then, you know, me and my nephew, we were rapping. And so he Sky Blue's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he was into, you know, comedy. We were all into comedy, you know, so we doing sketches. And we freestyling. But we noticed that, like, especially when you're freestyling and you're doing like battle bars, it's all comedy. It's all like dissing and stuff.
Yeah.
So the stand-up comic in me came back out. But I was still doing more comedy, you know, and acting and modeling. I got the afro now. Afro's popping. You know, and so in Hollywood, they like had some modeling, you know, trying to just get work there, doing extra work, acting. Because the improv made me fall in love with like sitcoms and TV shows and Larry David and like I wasn't
Legend.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Legend.
Curb.
is
I
top.
wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of Seinfeld.
Wow.
But then I got into improv and I understood it. I said,
Yeah.
oh, this is genius.
Because Curb is straight improv.
Curb is improv and it's a little more, yes, it's all improv.
Straight improv.
And that was like a big inspiration.
Yeah,
and
dry humor.
That's my
yeah,
favorite.
just all
So,
that,
yeah,
so
beautiful.
fun,
Yeah.
so fun,
Beautiful
so fun.
stuff.
I mean, what we're doing is like live improv.
Oh, without a doubt.
So it's
We
really
haven't.
fun.
We haven't. One question hasn't been pre-written.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So you've done everything.
Yeah. And the comedy. Then I got back into music because I missed the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wrote a couple songs that didn't make it anywhere, just that I kind of like missed the music. And I learned so much about life. My biggest fear ever in the world was doing stand-up. Because that's how I got into stand-up. I asked myself, what am I afraid of? I felt like I had done a little bit of hip hop here, done a little, you know, Redfoo and Dre Croon.
Yeah.
You know, I'd done that. Now, and I was in Hollywood. I moved to Hollywood to do stand-up.
Yeah.
From Culver City. There's a city, you know, around the Culvers. And then, but I was nervous, man.
Yeah.
Getting up on that mic. So I did that. And once I did that, I have a thing about fear is like a ring of fire. And if you're standing in this ring of fire and all of your fears is the fire. And if you acknowledge a fear and you don't overcome it or you don't do what that you're afraid of, then you just stay in your ring. And you got some friends that are with you.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid and you're there. But then if you accomplish your fear, you jump out of that ring. And you know everybody, we can jump through fire, even if it's flames, because you go fast and you jump. And then there's another world out there. So I was in this, and once I did stand-up comedy, I jumped through that ring.
And then everything opened up.
Now I'm peers with Dane Cook, just because I'm doing, right? So Dane Cook was around, and he was one of the biggest in Hollywood. Then I see him, and I'm like, hey, I started doing stand-up. He immediately changed. I was no longer just a fan. It's like playing tennis.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and you tell like a pro, like, oh yeah, I'm playing some challengers, or I'm playing the pre-qualifying, or I'm playing, or I can hit, or once you hit with somebody and they go, okay.
Yeah.
Then they start, so then, you know, but we might be afraid to hit with a pro, or, you know, at first, like, oh, what if I miss? What if I cause them a bad time because they can't? You know, that was always a big tennis fear.
Yeah.
Like, what if I hit with a pro and then I can't make it, and then they get mad?
Yeah, I mean, that's still a fear of mine.
Yeah.
It's a big fear.
But you gotta just hit. You know, if someone asks you to hit, you hit.
Yeah.
Or you say, hey, you want to hit? You know.
Yeah.
And so that was like that with comedy. And once I did that, music is way easier than stand-up comedy, in my opinion, because you got a track.
Yeah.
Sure.
If the beat is dope, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How has, because man, your mind is wild. Like I'm floored. But have you been able? Because you got back into tennis at some point, right? And we can chat about that for a bit. I think we have a few more minutes to dive into this. But how have you seen like the presence of tennis like interwoven into all of these things? Like, 'cause a lot of people say like tennis is the greatest form of illustration of life in a sense. And so have you seen tennis factor into the things that you've done, the things that you're still doing? Like, yeah.
I think the just the competitiveness of tennis, and like what we were speaking about earlier, like without, like it's competitive. It's like boxing, but you don't hurt the other player.
Yeah.
But you can hurt them emotionally.
For sure.
And maybe not even on purpose. They can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is, it's like 95% you and your emotions and how you're dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's their emotions, how they're dealing. Now, if you see, so tennis has this like, you want to play your personal best, but some days you're not going to play, you're going to be missing a couple short or long or something, but you still got to try to win.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just this ultimate like live freestyle battle. You come in with, okay, I'm going to do this, but then
That immediately gets
I'm gonna hit to their backhand. Well, maybe their backhand's better, and you got to switch up, and that's how life is. You know what I mean? It's not written, in my opinion. You don't know. So tennis is the same way. You just never know how that day is gonna go, and you got to be on it mentally. You got to get your sleep. Have you ever tried to play and you stayed up a little too late?
all the time.
And you don't see the ball, this, that, and you still yell, I can't believe it. And then when people are watching you, that's when tennis players throw a racket. You never threw your racket practicing by yourself.
Yeah.
You never hit a bucket of serves and missed and threw your racket.
Yeah.
So I realized that as a young age. So tennis is like it's like real life. So if you're complaining a lot about your job or it's like that's like throwing your racket. You know what I mean? Like breaking your racket. Don't break your racket.
Yeah.
That's what you use as a tool.
Yeah.
We ain't never thrown out the laptop when something crashed during a session.
Yeah.
Because
For
that
sure.
would be that's too much money.
Yeah.
But when you get free rackets, you can break a racket.
Yeah.
But so it's life. Tennis is life. It's competitive. It's fun. Two friends can play, and it's tough sometimes when two friends play because they can play and get heated because someone could think they cheated.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, you cheated. And no, I didn't, well, let's watch the tape. But then after, they could be hanging out, get something to eat, and one's quiet.
Yeah.
And they still quiet, and so you got to work all that stuff out, but that's life. But you get to, basketball, the same thing. I love tennis the most is my main thing.
That's awesome.
But even in basketball, you can see people's characters come out.
Yeah, sure.
In tennis, that's why people love to do business and they'll play tennis or golf.
Yeah.
Or they don't play
they'll get to
basketball so
see.
much.
They
Or you
get
get
to
to
see
see
who
if he's
you
a cheater.
Yeah.
That's real.
Right? You're like, oh, are you sure that's out? Like, oh, okay, because I was about to do a big deal with you.
Yeah.
Man.
But if that's how you do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you learn about yourself. It's like, it's and I've definitely learned not to. I used to be the throw in the racket,
Yeah.
and then spazzing out. And I noticed like if people aren't there, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps shape my life too. Like I try not to complain about life circumstances. Just create.
Yeah.
Just figure out a way.
Yeah.
And that's what tennis teaches me. And I get to, I'm not nervous anymore. So talk about fear. Once I did the fear of stand-up comedy, I quit because I was too nervous doing it afterwards. And I read something about fear. They said fear is just anxiety in the future. Anxiety is just fear in the future.
Yeah.
And then, but what is fear? Fear is just unwanted thoughts about yourself.
Have you seen Inside Out too?
No.
It's a good one.
What's that?
It's the little
movie.
Pixar joint. It's
Yeah,
about
it's
like all the emotions and things like
animation
that.
joint.
And they do
Yeah.
a great job of like,
It's really good depicting-
illustrating anxiety and what
Yeah.
it is. It's control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anxiety is just it's wanting to control situations, and I think tennis has, taught me, but also you probably have just let go.
Yeah.
Just let go.
Yeah. Improv.
Yeah. And so that's
Yeah.
This is like
is a
an
two-parter.
intro, for sure.
This might be a five-parter.
Yeah, let's keep going.
This is an intro. This is a good intro episode.
And I think even
But can I answer about Sexy and I Know It?
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
So without the comedy, Sexy and I Know It wouldn't
Wouldn't
have
have been
happened.
a thing.
And I did hip hop and I was doing all that stuff and I didn't care about money. It was all about the art.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
But this time, LMFAO, it was like, I had dreams growing up.
It was a mix.
But I wanted to understand what it was like to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I had done my artsy stuff.
Yeah.
I want to use the tools that I have of making music, producing music, 10 hours a day, 24 hours a day, beats on the MPC, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's time now. I'm 30 something when we started that.
Wow.
And it's time to make it.
Damn.
And my father always would call me a bum, you doing, trying to motivate me.
Sure.
I didn't like that motivation. But that's, the way he was doing it. And I was like, two things. I wanted to experience what it was like to become a millionaire. I mean, this is like real shit, right?
Yeah.
Wanted to become a millionaire. I'd seen millionaires, and I'm like, they can do anything. They can fly anywhere. They can go anywhere. I always dreamed of that. People are like, what you want to be when you were a kid? And they'd be like, I want to be a fireman. I was like, I just want to be a millionaire. Like that was exciting to me. So it was that, and I wanted to understand what fame was like. Because I grew up, and when you're a good, when you're on the football teams and stuff, you get the famous, right? People know you in the school. But when you become an adult living in Hollywood, you are not, no one knows you. You are nobody. You're walking down the street, and you got to start all over again. And I grew up in a small town, so and I was bummed that people just don't know who I am, or just friends.
That's real. That's
and
real.
I wanted that community.
Because some people have that desire, they just don't articulate it.
Yeah.
They don't admit it.
Yeah.
They think it comes off as like, that's not bad. I want to be known.
Like selfish, or like, I just wanted people to know, like, that's Redfoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they did, like that's Stephen Kenogordy, like
you
he's
knew
got
who you
handles.
were. Yeah.
You know what I
good.
mean?
Yeah.
And so that was my motivation, to experience something.
And you did it.
And using music as a tool.
Yeah.
Not as like, this is my journal.
Yeah.
So we crafted that party music to fill a void. There was no party band.
Yeah.
Digital Underground was like the last one.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to be labeled as a party band because maybe it wasn't serious.
Yeah.
I remember Afrojack, he asked me, he's like, when are you gonna make serious music? I had just come off stage sweating in a Speedo. You know what I'm saying? Flipping and flopping. You know what I mean?
Junk everywhere.
Junk everywhere.
on the shoulder.
Junk on shoulders, and he looked at me and he was mad because he's like, how do I follow that?
Yeah.
You got your junk. You're crowd surfing with junk. And I got to come up there and DJ and just stand there.
That's how like a lot of artists feel that way about TikTok artists.
Yeah.
Like, when are you gonna stop making TikTok music?
Yeah.
Like it's a thing.
It's a thing. But my thing is, if you've got haters, you're doing something. You do, because
if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
yeah. Who said that?
Famous poet. You ain't. I don't know. We'll look it up. Who said that? Can someone Google?
Someone Google that. That's good.
But
yeah,
the biggest thing, and I'm glad that we're running out of time, because this means that we have to do more of these.
Yeah.
Like your life is a few novels, like a bunch of Harry Potter novels, and I appreciate you. I mean, you filled our lives, whether you realize it or not. You filled younger versions of Sam and Zenny with happiness, joy, energy, excitement.
You know what I mean? White girls, face red.
Oh man,
Stop. Hey, is bad. One shot. But this is stuff that's ingrained in my mind.
man.
And you created something. You created music that has stayed, I think, with all of us. And the fact that you also love tennis like us, like we're gonna.
And
have
we
so
just,
many...
bro. We just, it's us, our form of giving you flowers.
Oh, thank
you. It's our form of. I know you're seen by people, but it's our way of saying that we see you and we appreciate what you've done to the history of music. You know what I mean? And then,
thank you.
And as two individuals that think highly of their music taste and just taste in general, you know what you've done for music is can never be wiped away.
Oh man.
And for forever will have an impact on music in general.
Oh, thank you.
On
thank
earth.
you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and part two, we have to dive into the tennis. Like I want to hear about time ball.
Yeah.
Could you explain time ball in a minute? Is that possible?
Yeah. Time ball is a game that me and my partner Ransom created, and it's an app, and it's king of the court or champ side, challenger side. If you're on the champ side, you're accruing time. And if you're not getting any time, and whoever has the most time wins. So you're playing with like 6 to 8 players, and it's fun, it's fast paced, it's a workout, hour and a half. and it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I just want to thank y'all for doing what y'all do, because you're bringing tennis to the world. You know what I mean? And seeing you guys grow. And I'm watching both of you guys and just talking behind. And today I got mad on the court. Your latest.
Today I crashed out.
I crashed out.
Yeah, you be crashing out.
But it's just so authentic. It's so real. And just seeing all the just intimate thoughts, and it's just amazing. So I wish you the best, and I know that your goal is to popularize tennis amongst everybody, and you guys are doing that.
Thank you so much.
And it's great to talk to you guys.
No, this is the first.
And I hope I didn't talk too much about it, because
this is a format, a platform for you to get your shit off.
Where else are we gonna talk? Where else do we get 50 minutes to just chop?
Safe platform just to chop and be with the homies and just it's very wholesome. It's just We aim and look for wholesome moments in life, and we look at you as a big bro. You know what I mean? As big bro, and so it's nice to be able to share conversation.
And we'll be back. And who's someone that you wanna? If this was another chair, who's someone you'd want to add to this conversation next time?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Who do we got to add to this? Tennis player or any
tennis, entertainment, Buddha.
Woo! If I don't say my girl, then she's gonna say, "Why didn't you say me?"
That's a given.
That's a thing. If I don't say my daughter in 10 years, she's gonna say, "Why didn't you say me, Dad?" You know what? I would like to bring in. It's got to be another tennis player.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's got somebody,
anybody.
But who's playing tennis that's on the outskirts that we could bring in? Is there another musician? Is there another actor, comedian?
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey.
What about Will Ferrell? He's playing.
He's playing.
He plays.
Yeah.
Will
We
Ferrell.
gotta run that. He just had that documentary that came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
We'll get Will. Let's do
We'll
get Will.
Yeah, we gotta get Will.
Will.
Right here.
Will.
Get Will.
Man, thank you so much.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Lovely, bro.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.